morning, everyone. We're going to wait till everybody kind of falls in here, but I will go through and I'll do our introductions. I'm Melinda Aiken. I am the marketing manager here at SiteSeeker. And today for Tea with Tom, we have Tom Armitage, who is my colleague here at SiteSeeker, along with Briana Ridzi. We are so thankful to have you, Briana. She comes to us from Sinclair Broadcast Group. So thank you both for joining us today. Tea for Tom. Hopefully everybody has their coffee or tea with them this morning. We're going to have a fun discussion this morning. As you guys are ready. We're going to have a fun discussion this morning and talk about programmatic and CTV advertising. The hottest thing, as Tom likes to call it, in digital advertising today, but there's a lot that happens and a lot that you can do with it. So we thought it would be a great webinar to educate all of you a little bit more on what it is exactly and what you yourselves can do with it for your business. So with that, we're going to do something a little unique here as well. Today, we're going to poll you guys. So our first poll we're going to do is for you. How many of you subscribe to cable television? So I'm going to launch this poll, you guys. It's a yes or no, and we'll see what we come up with here. So go ahead and answer yes or no if you subscribe to cable television. I know myself, I do not. How about you, Tom and Briana? Do you guys still have cable?
I cut the cord about 10 years ago.
I love TV. I'm passionate about TV. I have cable, but I also have lots of streaming devices.
Very nice. I also have lots of streaming devices, but that is all we do is stream here. We cut the cord when we moved from upstate New York to here in Las Vegas, Nevada. So it seemed like it was appropriate for that move. All right, so it looks like 89% of you do still have cable and 11% of you do not on this call.
Dang, interesting.
Very interesting. Thank you for taking that. And then we have one more that will kind of guide us into our talk here today is where you currently spend your advertising dollars. So last one here, you can check one, you can check all, but you currently spend advertising dollars in the traditional sense through search ads, social, display, or OTT that we'll be talking about today. Give you guys just a minute here. I know, Tom, we have a great mix here at SiteSeeker for all of them. A lot.
Yeah, one of the reasons why we've been so excited about this talk today is because, Melinda, how many webinars have we done to date where we've been really emphasizing the importance of digital advertising in general, but the importance specifically of awareness-based, display-based advertising to try and prime the pump, especially during the pandemic period when people might be a little more sensitive and a little more conservative with their spending dollars. But the research is showing, or at least the studies have shown, that a lot of people are going to be kind of hitting hard once this kind of normalizes and people go back to their normal spending and buying habits, since maybe they haven't been for the past 2 or 3 months. So we've been preaching this for probably 6 or 7 webinars now, however many we've done, and we wanted to devote this webinar specifically on just advertising and promote programmatic and OTT advertising. So this will be a good talk right here, and this will be a good poll to see where you guys stand right now.
Exactly. All right. So 83% are traditional, 33 search, 67 social, 83 display, and then oh, we're kind of changing the numbers here. Sorry, I thought you were all in.
The stats are changing as you're speaking, Melinda.
Yeah, I thought they were all in, but I'll give you guys another couple seconds here to change, because now we do have some OTT, which is great. All right, we're about 85% voted here. We have 15 more seconds here to get it in, and then gonna close it, and we'll move on.
Here we go. I always think back to Mad Men when we talk advertising, because in the context of the show in the 60s, it was only traditional, right? And the only ones that were really investing in those dollars and in those opportunities were the major brands, and everybody looked to them as kind of like the gold standard of advertising. And the show kind of emphasized how cool those ads were, and that was really the place to be. And what makes this so fascinating to me is this is where the big brands are playing in the OTT space. They're advertising during, the live sports streaming events and in the shows that we're watching on Sling and on Roku TV and whatnot. So when we as advertisers, we as marketers want to really make the right decisions when it comes to the best type of marketing, the best type of advertising, the best type of ways to reach our audience, we look and we emulate those big brands and what they're doing. And this is where they're playing. This is the space that they're playing in, and this is where they're investing their time, talent, and dollars. So that's what's most fascinating to me, because we know this is going to become the norm for all types of businesses and brands, from B2B, from B2C to Fortune 500 to the small mom and pop shop down the street. So that's why I'm really trying to put a lot of focus on this in recent months.
Right. All right. So I closed the poll at 64% traditional, 18% search, 55% social, 45% display, and 9% OTT. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to you, Tom and Briana, to walk us through programmatic and CTV.
Awesome.
Right.
So we're going to do a little bit of a Q&A here. Briana has quite a bit of information. She's been in the business for 17 years now. She told me originally in the traditional media buying space, and she's been with her current company for quite a while. So I have some questions here prepared for her, and I'll chime in with my 2 cents like I usually do, where I feel it's appropriate. So Briana, if we know that programmatic and OTT, it's not the same type of format as what a lot of marketers, especially a lot of digital marketers, have come familiar with when we talk Google search or even social media type of ads that people have really become comfortable with in recent years, Facebook ads and Google ads in particular. If you were to describe programmatic and OTT ads and the technology that powers it to a second grader, to dumb it down, make it as easy as possible, how would you describe how this technology works?
Yeah, so OTT, a lot of people get confused by the name. Like, what does it mean? It's really over the top, and it's over the top of your cable provider or around your cable provider to get television content. If you guys actually let me share my screen, I actually have a little graphic that I could share with you real quick. Okay, so this is it in a nutshell. There's really three main things that you need in order to get your favorite television show. It's really broken into, you need an internet connection. And then not only that, you need a device. The second thing is a device to be able to access your favorite television show, whether that be a gaming station, one of those sticks. They're really popular. People buy them off of Amazon. You can Amazon Prime Stick. Some people actually have boxes, so like a Roku or an Apple TV box. Or the fourth most popular way is just buying a new TV. I don't know about you, but Black Friday, my husband and I, we went and bought a $399 huge like flat screen TV. We plugged it in the wall, and automatically we had all these free shows and content. And that's the third thing, is picking your content. And there's two types of content. There's the paid content like Sling, which packages up all your channels like your normal cable provider, but they're not a cable provider. They're over the internet. And then there's apps. So you can go on CNN, you can go on HGTV and actually get content from them. But then there's also a free app. So here's a tip for you. Do me a favor after this, or even right now, go on your phone and look up just Pluto TV, for example, and you can get tons and tons of free content, free television. It's just like your TV cable guide, but it's free and there's no cable.
I think the smart TV is the most popular way today that people are consuming content, and it's probably only going to become more popular, right? Because I forget the average lifespan of a TV, probably a couple of years these days. But as more people, with Black Friday deals, Prime deals, or just normal wear and tear on their devices, their TVs, and they go to buy new ones, more people are probably going to be doing it from the smart TVs. And it just makes it so much easier because then you don't have to plug in, you don't have to order something separately. And I think that these TVs are going to only build out the amount of apps that are available inside of the smart TVs, which just continues to expand the amount of options that we as consumers have, which also expands the complexity and the ability for advertisers to target and really drill down and be present on the right platforms and within the right content, which kind of leads us to the next question, which what makes this so attractive to advertisers? Why is this where a lot of digital marketers are turning to complement a lot of their other efforts across the marketing mix?
Yeah, I have another screen to share. So that's a really good question. You know, why is it so popular? It's because you can really target within any zip code, and it's one transaction. And like you said, you know, with programmatic, it's just so easy for you to go and target people. And you can really layer in, especially with OTT, this third party data. And you know, with our OTT products, we have over 6,000 behavior intent targets, and they're from these third party companies, and they're companies that you and I have heard about. And you know, it's insane how much data we like leave behind. Like, I don't know about you, but were you online? Like, have you been shopping recently?
I never shop. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, I was shopping last night for some new Cowboys gear. I got to get a new hat and, you know, some new summer gear for the Dallas Cowboys, right?
Yeah, so they know you're a Cowboys, they know you're a football fan, right? You end up buying it?
Not yet, but I keep seeing the ads every time I pop up on a website, on Facebook, everywhere. The same exact product too, because they're doing a good job.
Yeah, they're doing a great job. And so now a company that might be a sporting goods store is going to target you because you were shopping for gear like within the last day. And so for me, you know, I've left a trail too. You know, I was on Disney at like 12:30, the Disney store last night or 2 nights ago, shopping for my daughter. And so I'm getting a bubble wand like following me around. I'm never gonna buy the bubble wand. No, wait, I am gonna buy the bubble wand. It's in my cart because I can't stop seeing it. I don't need a bubble wand and I don't need two, but I'm gonna buy them, right? And so that's the beauty of this product, is that it makes you, you know, even you talk yourself out of buying it, but then you see it over and over again. So, you know, and going back to the data targets is what we're talking about. So I actually have a hardware store, and they are trying to reach contractors. They're trying to reach homeowners. They're trying to reach architects. And the cool thing about this technology is we can target those people in a specific zip code, but then we can target them with different creative. So you have a specific creative to go after homeowners. You have a specific creative to go after contractors. And so it's really a tailored approach to get people to purchase from you and become your loyal customer.
Yeah, I like the word that you use when you said the user's trail, because I think that is what makes this very different than other advertising platforms, right? We know that there's awesome targeting abilities inside of LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter, all the different type of sites that we've been preaching for years now. But with programmatic and OTT, the ability for that history to be retained within that device and surrounding that user, and then even more powerfully pairing that with that third-party data that you guys are tapping into from all of these warehouses, where you know so much about me that I honestly don't even want to know what you know about me.
Yeah, it's crazy. They know all your credit card behavior. So like going back to the hardware store example, they can go after people that have purchased things at Lowe's for the last 30 days. They can go after somebody that's been to Home Depot in the last 30 days, and we can go ahead and serve their ad to that person sitting down watching live TV. They're sitting and streaming CNN, HGTV, like any of that stuff. It's really powerful stuff, and it's kind of scary. You know, you haven't.
Really is.
You had said that with the pandemic, you're actually working from home. So you haven't. When was the last time you left the house?
I haven't been a very good boy, so it was only a couple days ago.
Don't answer that. But you've been around your house, like leaving this trail of data, I guess is what we're talking about. So
yeah, right. It's more personal marketing and it's more intelligent marketing, and I like that phrase too, because kind of the curse word that is always affiliated with traditional broadcast TV ads, and even in part some of this type of ads, is it being disruptive, right, or intrusive. And
Mhm.
if you do a really good job with targeting and you know who your audience is ahead of time, you build out your personas, you do your research, you know who your audience is, and you know the type of behaviors that they're going to take. So you're able to work with an advertising partner that's able to serve it up to the right folks at the
Mhm.
right time with the right message. Then it doesn't become disruptive. It becomes complementary to that experience that they're having within those
Mhm.
devices and on those channels. And I think that's what makes this effective and powerful.
This would blow Don Draper's mind.
I know.
Technology. Could you
For
imagine?
sure.
He would have a field day with it.
Well, thinking back
5 different ads, all targeted towards these different personas of people.
back in the day, all they did was put a billboard up in Times Square, and all the different people would pass by, and they thought that exposure was great, right? But they didn't take into account all of the wasted eyeballs that were being seen. They were seeing that ad, or on TV, all the wasted eyeballs that were seeing that were never in a million years going to purchase it because they just weren't in the audience. And that's
It's
what
like
we're doing. We're getting rid of the people that are meaningful, the waste.
it's like having mini private conversations with your target audience, with that person that you want to reach.
Right. That's a good way of describing it. So let's
Yeah.
roll the next one. Why is this so popular? Why are the big brands devoting billions of dollars into this type of platform, this type of technology?
Yeah. So, I think it kind of goes back, why is OTT so hot right now? Like, you tell me, do you like paying $180 for cable? Like, everybody raise their hand. I want to pay $180. I do, but that's because I love TV. But I think there's something else going on here. And I love this. It just kind of sums up what we're all feeling right now. I think that OTT is going to come to this. I think the pandemic and kind of people's behaviors has sped up the process. You and I were actually, I love this cartoon. It's so true. We're all doing our part. We're all at home. And so we're ingesting a lot of television. We're ingesting a lot of our favorite shows. It's incredible. And I think that the pandemic really sped up that process. You and I were talking about Disney Plus and the story there. And they started with what, 10 million subscribers. And I think the number now is they're at 50 million. Like that was going to happen. We just didn't realize it was going to happen so fast. So that's one thing. And I think that the other thing that's happening right now is that 75% of the or more of the US has these connected devices. So we talked about this before. How many connected devices do you have in your house?
I have a couple computers, 3 TV screens, 4 music devices, a couple old phones. I'm a single dad, and I got 12 connected devices in the house. It's a small house, too.
For how many people?
3 when the kids are here. 3. That's
Yeah.
my device per person is 4. That's a lot.
Can Melinda chime in? Where is she? Come say hi.
Melinda's in Vegas. She has too many other things going on. I'm in Utica. I need more devices.
Yeah, right.
So tell us about your addiction. How many devices do you have?
Yeah, so like I said, I don't have cable either. I'm a family of 4, and we have 2 devices per person. So I only have 8. I don't have as many as Tom. We're not as cool as a family.
Loser.
Maybe we need some more music devices so we can dance a lot more. But yeah, but that is how we consume all of our information. And I think it's really intriguing to see, and I'm sure all of you on this call too have seen, not only in the last 12 weeks has the advertised changed to say stay home, but the advertising has also changed immediately in the last 5 days. You're seeing big brands like Tom talked about change their messaging completely, but so quickly. And they wouldn't be able to do that with traditional media.
That's true too. I think, Bree, when you mentioned the pandemic affecting this, I think it really has. Not only have they been spending more time, but I think it's forced them to become more comfortable with the technology. I bet that there was a lot of cord cutters just over the past 2 months because they had content that they wanted to start, digesting, and they had to sign up for a lot of these new platforms. Maybe they had to go out and get a new Roku, a new Fire Stick. Maybe they had to download some new apps. Maybe they had to go get a new TV. Whatever the case might be, I think there was probably a lot of cord cutters. We agree that there isn't new data available yet because it's upon us. We're still in it right now.
Yeah, that other slide actually said 28% of households are OTT only, and that was before the pandemic.
Before the pandemic, right?
Even imagine what it is now. So I want everybody that's sitting in on this call, think to yourself, like, how many devices do you have? And it's really shocking because we were talking about it, and we have these like decommissioned cell phones that like my husband's old cell phone, he just, he didn't turn it in, and now it's a streaming device. He hands it to my kid when he needs 5 seconds for a conference call. It's incredible, it really is.
So moving on, this is a really important question that I'm going to ask, and probably the most important of the 5 in my opinion, because a lot of our partners, a lot of people that we work with, a lot of people in the industry, they've become so familiar, comfortable, and they've seen a lot of value from social ads, and in particular Google search-based ads. And we agree that this type of advertising, this type of awareness-based advertising, top of funnel advertising, wouldn't ever replace search ads, right? They should work in tandem, and they should complement one another. So tell me a little bit about that approach.
Yeah, I think I'm a big fan of search. I'm a big fan of doing, both, like you said. When you're looking at that funnel, search is really at the bottom. That's when people are in the process of making a decision, and it's a very targeted audience, and they're in the process of buying whatever you're selling. And so that's, you're reaching somebody that's already in the market for your product, which is that pull advertising. What we're talking about is doing the top of that funnel. It's awareness advertising, and that's pull advertising, and that's what OTT and television does. And so, I'm sorry, it's push advertising. And so that push advertising, it evokes emotion. It reaches a larger part of the population, but it's also the quickest way to get somebody, from awareness to purchasing and educating that person about your product. It's very effective. And there's a lot more people at the top of that funnel.
It's definitely scientific when you lay it out in that type of formulaic manner, right? You need more people to be aware of who you are before you can wrap them in and convert them once they're on the site, once they're aware of who you are, what you sell, what you do, and if your product or service is of interest to them. And I think that's why the remarketing element is really important too. And that's why you can bring them back, you can reinforce that message. And then when they are ready, because you're capturing them at a point where they might not be ready yet, but when they are ready, they're going to know who you are, and they're going to be able to perform that search or see your ads in a different way, a different platform, different media.
It's the quickest way to get them down into that funnel and into that.
Definitely. Okay, last question, and I'm going to propose it before somebody else does that's viewing this, because this is an important one as well. What makes a good ad? You've been in this business for a while. You've had a lot of clients, a lot of customers, a lot of ads that have come through your feed or your computer screen. What's a really good ad, and what's an example of one that you've seen that you want to tell us about?
Yeah, so I think we're going to share one in a second, but I think a lot of times it's not what you say, it's how you say it. And I think having somebody help you craft that message is so important. It's also timing, having good timing. That makes good creative. I think having a compelling message in the first 3 seconds is so important. And you need to capture somebody's attention, but also keep it and keep them and have them ride that story throughout the entire message. And I think that's where somebody like you guys come in to help somebody craft a message. But then not only that, going back to the Don Draper example, he would have a field day with this. And I think going back to the personas and what would Don Draper do? He would have different creatives for each of those targets that he's trying to reach. And it would be very persuasive and get people down through that funnel as quickly as possible. So those are all really important aspects.
You can be much more agile with this interface. You can have multiple creatives running in different markets through different targets at the same time to test them out against one another with A/B testing. And the agility and the ability to Agility and ability. I like rhyming words. You can make those changes so much more quickly and appreciate the results so much more quickly that you can make decisions much more quickly, which in the end ends up leading to cost savings, right? Anything that's more that's faster and more efficient will be a cost savings in the end.
It's efficient.
Yeah. Melinda, do you want to show that video ad as we wrap up here?
Love to see it.
Yeah, let me share my screen here.
And while she's pulling that up, if there's any questions that anybody wants to shoot over to Melinda, we can use the last minute to go through some answers too.
Yeah. All right, this is 30 seconds, but it kind of hits on everything that you guys talked about in terms of having the right message. So, and I'm sure most of you
more
have seen
flexible. Don't worry, my Dutch is okay. Just okay? Deze man is erg super. Tell him we need this merger. En hij heeft een knuffel nodig. It's happening.
Just okay is not okay, especially when it comes to your network. AT&T is America's best wireless network according to American Tech. Now with 5G evolution, the first step to 5G. More for your thing. That's our thing.
All right.
I think with this type of advertising, it really does require you to put more thought, more creative, and more strategy into the ads themselves, right? Because of where they're being placed during some sort of experience, whether that's somebody scrolling on their phone, watching a video on YouTube, watching a video on Sling, you need to kind of insert yourself into that experience, right? You need to make it entertaining, funny, emotional, compelling, whatever the case is, whatever makes the most sense for your brand, but it's got to be a good, compelling ad that really wraps them in to stand out, make a difference.
Ah, all right, so I have a couple questions.
I'm so glad you guys found that.
Yeah. All right, one of the questions comes in and it says, so does OTT use a cookie to follow prospects with specific targeted traits?
I'd have to look into that. From my understanding, it's more of the data targeting and the behavior intent targeting. It's not necessarily a cookie because it's not a computer.
So, well, let's draw a line in the sand between the video streaming ads and like programmatic display. So
yeah, so programmatic display, go ahead.
Yeah, so Bree just emphasized the video streaming ads with OTT, right? If I'm watching TV in my living room with Sling, it's not able to identify me as I walk out the door, go to Lowe's and whatnot, and pair that data together. If I'm on my smartphone and I'm looking up, and I'm on Lowe's.com and I'm looking for cabinets, and then as I go about through my web history and I'm doing sorts of searches and I'm looking at other sites and I come home and I'm on a different device with shared IP, yes, through cookie-based technology, it's able to pair who I am, what I'm doing, and recall and serve ads later on. But it functions differently on my device than it does on over-the-top TV ads.
Yes, thank you guys. We have one more question here, and the other question is, Briana, if you could repeat what makes a good ad?
Oh, yeah. So, I think some of the things are what do you enjoy seeing in advertising? And I think all of it has to do with, it's not what you say, it's how you say it, and having a well-crafted message, I think, is really important, especially nowadays. And you had even said, with all the things that are happening, be able to change that creative and have it appropriate is so important. Having compelling message, having it, in the first 3 seconds, being able to capture that person and bring them through the story and have it be very succinct. And then I also love the idea of having specific ads for specific targets. And so I have a car dealer that noticed that no one was speaking to the Hispanic population. And so what did they do? They went and made a commercial in Spanish and they run that in specific areas. And so for them, they've seen a lot of success out of that. And so there's all different things that you can do to have a successful campaign, but those are the main ones.
Yeah, I think that's a great, I guess, message that a lot of us forget, is that we may have one product that is targeted differently to different groups of people. So even though we're selling one product or service, people may use it in a different way. And so to have the ability to target them because they're looking for it in a certain way, or they're going to use it in a certain way, it's just very important, because you may, as the manufacturer of a product or something, you may look at it and say, oh, this is who uses it. But if you take a step back, and you hit on this early on, Tom, and look at your personas and really understand the target market, then I think you can really develop that messaging in your ads. And like you said, you may have 5 messages, but that's the cool thing about the digital advertising that we live in today, right? You can make it instantaneous, you can change it, and you can hit various targets for really a low cost as well, which we really didn't hit on. But you can hit kind of throw a wide net out there if you want, and hit 5 different targets, or you can throw a small one and hit one specific target that you want. So it depends on the product and how many targets you have.
The personas and the targeting just powers this whole thing, right? Very few of us work for a Coca-Cola where we can just be like, yeah, run ads nationally. I don't care who it hits or what it hits, because it's going to be in my target market, right? One out of every million marketers are going to be in that situation. So I think that the targeting is what makes this so great and so useful to reach niche and refined audiences. So knowing who it is that you want to reach is the first step before you even begin thinking about where the ads are going to go.
Right. All right, with that, I'm sorry, everyone, we're just 2 minutes over, but thank you all for joining us. Not bad. And thank you, Briana, so much for joining us today and bringing your expertise on the subject. Really
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, everyone.
Thanks, everyone. Bye.
See you soon.